1200 Films Podcast. All horror all the time. Chuckloaf here. We got some new subscribers. Welcome, welcome. Because of that, I will briefly give you the history of the show. The 1200 Films Podcast was originally going to be a Guinness record attempt back in 2018. I wanted to watch 1200 films in 1 year and review each one of them here on this podcast. And I got about halfway through. We got about to 700. And Guinness decided to change the rules on me, so I stopped. But then about a year later, I realized I kind of missed doing those shows. So I decided to pick it up again. Not going for a record, just doing it for fun and just doing horror. Horror is my first love. And in each episode, I do 8 films. Random years. Just whatever I can pretty much find that I haven't seen is what I watch. I try to throw in at least a couple from the current year because I plan on doing a big year-in review. Top 10, top whatever list at the end of the year like I did for 2019. So that being said, let's get going on this list. 1980 Altered States, critic rating 84%, audience score of 72 according to Rotten Tomatoes. Stars William Hurt, who I think is a wonderful actor. Basically in this film, he's a scientist dabbling in basically extreme hallucinogenics, and he's going under this comatose state, and he's coming out a little different each time, and he realizes the deeper he goes in his little comatose state, he comes out altered. Thus the title, Altered States. This film is kind of has not held up well with time, sadly. It's a little weird, it's a little bizarre, to the extreme where he's like, I don't know if I want to keep watching this film. So that being said, I'd say it's just it's can't quite recommend. I wanted to like it, I just couldn't. 2018, 10 by 10. Critic rating 67%, audience score of 20. Boy. It stars Luke Evans, who was in Only God Forgives with Ryan Reynolds, a great film. And No One Lives. The No One Lives movie is probably top 3 movies WWE has ever produced. Put that up there with Wrestling with My Family and See No Evil. But and he was a badass in No One Lives. And in this movie, he gets beat up repeatedly by a woman. But a petite little woman. But anyway, he kidnaps this woman, this petite little woman, and throws her into a 10 by 10 padded room and wants her to explain who she is and what she did. And this goes on. This is the middle part of this film's a little redundant, but it gets going and it gets good. Basically, Lucas Evans' character thinks that the petite little woman did something bad, and he's trying to get the confession out of her. But she's a fighter and she won't go down easy. So yes, this was I thought it was a fine little film. Put it on the watch list. Nice little watch. Kept me entertained, I guess. 2016 Fender Bender. What a good name for a horror movie. There is no critic rating for this, but an audience score of 44%. This film did not mess around and wasted no time. There's no baloney half-hour filler at the beginning of character development. This jumps right into it and doesn't stop. It kind of reminded me of The Collector. Not The Bone Collector, The Collector. There was 2 of them. First was great. Second one was good. This kind of reminded me of that. So, this chick gets an Fender Bender with this guy, and the guy, excuse me, good grief, too much Mountain Dew. And the guy convinces the girl to give him all of her information. Phone number, address, everything. So what does he do? He starts stalking her. Because he's a loon. And it goes from there. Yes, you can probably... Yeah. So, yeah, but it was well made. I thought it was excellent. I hope there's many more. I would say put it on the watch list. I don't know if I just went over my rankings. On the bottom is Dumpster Fire Garbage for the worst films, and then we have Can't Quite Recommend, and then Okay If Desperate, and then Put It On the Watch List, and then the very tippy top we put on top of the watch list, which is rare. But let's go to the next film, 2020, Random Acts of Violence. Critic rating 58%, audience score of 33. Jay Baruchel, if you Google him, you'd recognize him. He's been in a billion things. He produced and co-starred in this. It's this comic book writer of graphic horror novels, him and his buddies and his wife are on a road trip, and someone is recreating the horror scenes from his comic book as they're going along on their little road trip. So there's like, well, someone's doing this deliberately to mess with me. And then as it goes, the story develops like, oh, this is what's going on. And you don't realize until the last minute of the film why this film is called Random Acts of Violence. There's like, these acts of violence seem pretty deliberate. They don't seem random at all. It gets to it, so don't let that discourage your viewing. Still, it started, the first half was great, second half it kind of faded. But, Okay If Desperate. Next, 2019, Red Island. No critic rating, no audience score. You can find this movie for free in a pretty crisp, decent version. But it's called Forest Creature on there. This couple's out on this island on a vacation getaway, but their marriage is struggling, and you have to put up with that for half of the film. And then the other half of the film, they're running from this giant, creepy creature in the woods. Yep, that's what it is. I don't know what else to tell you. It is creepy at times, and it is bizarre creepy, but it is not bad. I would say Okay If Desperate. Yeah, fine. 1978, The Evil. No critic rating. How can there be no critic rating? It came out 40 years ago. Audience score of 30%. This couple are going to buy this old mansion to make it a rehabilitation center. And as they're doing the original tour, deciding if they want to buy it, the woman is seeing apparitions. Like right in front of her. And she's not like, maybe we shouldn't get this place. I can see apparitions. But she's like, maybe I'm just tired. Let me just need a nap. So they end up buying the place, and it ends up being insanely haunted. And of course, one of the forces in the house is malevolent, so it starts killing off all the people that are trying to rebuild the place. That being said, it's not bad. It's not bad for a 70s film. Jeepers, this could be redone, but it's fine the way it is. Actually, I'd say put it on the watch list. Check it out. Oh boy. 1981, Mortuary. No critic rating, audience score of 29%. It's going to take a second to explain this one. If I were to do spoilers, it would take 20 minutes. This film is way too complicated for a horror film. I'll try to give you the basic gist of it. Okay. Mortuary. This guy and his buddy are breaking into a mortuary to get some tires because the buddy feels that it's what he's owed because he used to work there. And as they're there, they stumble upon the buddy's old boss who runs the mortuary. And the other buddy, his girlfriend's mother, is also in this ceremony, satanic ceremony. And they're like just watching them. And then Bill Paxton is the son of the guy that runs the mortuary, and he has a crush on one of the guys' girlfriends, the two buddies, and he's really creepy because he does a lot of the embalming and stuff, the mortuary stuff. So he's a little bizarre. And there's a lot of stalking, and there's a lot of creeping around. This movie, that's like the tip of the iceberg. That's just, it's not a bad movie though. There's so much going on. It keeps you watching because you don't know what you're going to get in the next minute. That being said, it's okay if desperate. It's just a little too weird, I thought, but I'm fine. Now, our feature review for the best film I've watched in this batch from 2020, it is Spree.
For all of you out there who don't know me, get ready. Because you're about to know me. Hey, I don't see any cops around. Should I blow this next one? I'm Kurt. Hey guys. What's up, guys? We're gonna inject this right on the label.
Does this water have like a taste to it?
Airtight. We're watertight. If you're not documenting yourself, you just don't exist. The mouthfeel on this? Otherworldly.
2020 Spree. Critic rating 61%. No audience score yet. This stars Joe Keery, who many will probably recognize as Steve from Stranger Things. I did not recognize him at first, but eventually, doing research for this, I figured, that's who that kid is. He's basically a wannabe internet star, aren't we all? And he's trying to do whatever he can to get as many likes and views and followers. And he's kind of friends with this really popular gamer because he babysat him when he was really little. This is a comedy horror, not a straight violent gore horror film. But so he has a part-time job, basically an Uber driver, but they call it a spree driver. It's the same thing. So he films all that stuff, and he decides one day he's going to start killing his passengers. And that should give him internet fame that he wants. So that's what he does. So he goes on a killing spree while working for a spree. Oh boy, there's some bizarre scenes where he picks up this Asian DJ. This chick who's and takes her out to get tacos or something, and things fall apart quick. And his dad jumps in for a ride at one point. It's really something else. It's you can't stop watching. You just, what the heck. But very good film though. Put it on top of the watch list. It's one of the better things I've seen this year, which isn't really saying a whole lot. But it should make my top 10 for 2020. So yeah, check it out, Spree. On the next episode, we have The Shed, One Dark Night, Anyone Home, Island of Death, a newer Netflix movie called Horse Girl, another Netflix one called The Night Clerk, And then we got one called Secrets in the Woods. I swear to God, that is a Lifetime channel movie. But Lifetime sometimes gets it right. They've had one great horror film that I can think of called Static. If you can find it, it's really good. But we'll see. And then the last one is Fade to Black, which is a early 80s early 90s, Tom Thomerson film. So we'll see what that is. So yeah, that's it. That's all I got. Tapping out. Till next time.